So, as you'll have seen at the start of this week on Monday, I have come to the end of the Walls arc, and as such, it is time to do what I always do and talk about it as a whole. So, in short, was the Walls good? Yeah, I think it was. I really enjoyed reading the Walls. Much more than I did with The Cage. Why is that? I don't really know, to be honest. Feeling? I guess it was probably because it was quicker, less dragged out. It felt like a lot more of the plot points were relevant. There wasn't a really mediocre subplot running through basically the entire arc. But yeah, on the whole, the Walls, really enjoyable. And that's the crux of it. But let's talk about it in some more details. Let's talk about specific moments. The Hidden Grove. The backstory, I guess, of the Walls that we get about halfway through. It's really interesting. We get a little bit of world building. We get to find out, why the heroes are... Well, at least why Doan is sealed away. And we also find out a bit more about Cal Helm. He was a part of this team. There's also a traitor involved. And we also get in this, this flashback sequence, we get revealed to us the boss. This mysterious figure who quite literally tells two different people two different things about Bam. He tells Cha that, he's from outside the tower, he'll be a savior or whatever. And he tells Doan he will bring war and suffering. Which is true, because Bam will. Because he's going up against Jihad. That's basically his existence's purpose, is to cause unrest and change the tower. So of course he's going to bring war and suffering and the like. But he's also going to be a savior. So the boss isn't lying. He's just bending the truth a little bit and, manipulating the facts and who knows what to have the future play out in a certain way. So I get the feeling that this boss character is, very aware of the future and has a grand plan of how he wants things to play out, and hence why he's manipulated both Cha and Doan. Speaking of Doan, I really like her. I think she's really cool. I think her decision to side with Caliban is really interesting, and it could have some potential implications in the story. I do know that later on she does switch sides, and that makes people pretty angry, because that she flip-flops, if you will. But as far as I'm aware, she only changes, side once, so not really. And her siding with Caliban when she wakes up makes sense, because she gets Kane's memories. I guess I can understand why people would forget that. There's probably a long time between, this and when she switches to side with Bam later on, I assume it's later on in the Nest. But yeah, I really like Doan's character. I think she's really cool. She's obviously fucking drop-dead gorgeous, let's be real. The flower Shinsu control skill looks really cool. It just looks pretty. Yeah, all around, I think Doan's a pretty cool character. I think she's pretty good going forward, and I'm looking forward to how things play out with her and how she ends up opposing Bam. It'll be interesting to see. Aside from that, the actual setting of the Walls compared to the Cage, I think is a much better setup and interested me more than the Cage did. The Cage felt kind of out of nowhere to an extent, and I guess you could argue so is the Walls. Had we had the Walls revealed to us before the arc? I don't know. I don't think we had, but it felt a bit more natural going from the Cage to the Walls than it did from going from the end of season 2 to the start of season 3, which is the Cage. That transition felt smoother. So I feel like that definitely helped in my enjoyment of the arc overall. I also just I don't really care about the Kanon people. If I say that, it was a bit, I was like, oh fuck. I do feel bad for Yama with what happens at the end of the Walls. It's pretty fucked. I do feel bad for him, but I don't really... The Kanon people aren't the most interesting of things, in my opinion. Anything else I have to say on the Walls? I mean, it was a relatively short arc. Like, I say not a whole lot happened. Quite a lot happened. I mean, it sets up the nest, which I've heard is really, really good. And I'm looking forward to getting into, even though I know it's really, really bloody long in comparison. Although it's broken up with some stuff in between, and I'll probably cover, you know, segments of it like I'm doing now with the walls. But yeah, that's all I've got to say overall. I enjoyed the walls. In my opinion, better than the cage. When I've finished, well, I say when I've finished, when I've caught up to Season 3, I'll probably do an overall arc ranking. I'll, like, skim read through Season 1 and 2. Well, I'll properly read through Season 1 as, like, a video series, because I do need to do that, but I'll skim read through Season 2, and I will rank all of the arcs, you know, in my opinion, the major ones. Probably broken up in the same way that Haku did for his, you know, big arc discussion with Bonehead, Jesse, and oh, who else was with him? The name escapes me. I apologize. But yeah, those are my thoughts on the cage. Really enjoyable. I really liked it. I like the setup of the conflict between Balm and Caliban, and White, you know, wanting to, like, kind of further Balm, if you will, but also want to consume him. I like it. I'm looking forward to the nest going forward. But, with all that said, I've been Animosity, you've been you, and I will catch you next time for another video. Ta-ta, for now.